All right, so here is part 2 of the Transformers fan stream from Hasbro Pulse. We're going to break down everything with our Voyager classes, our leader classes, and touch up with some updates on our Commander class from what we learned about here today. We're going to break down everything, make sense of it from a business standpoint, as well as some of the Easter eggs that people may have missed going on with these releases here. I mean, that's what you guys are here for when you listen to the Transformer Slag podcast. Get something different from everyone else's perspective of, man, that's just cool. So we're going to start first with that Voyager class, Legacy Evolution Dirge. This is a fantastic item because it gives confidence and it shows that previous exclusives that have existed can be reissued, more or less unchanged or very mildly changed, into a mass retail space, given enough contractual time from its original release. Now, for people that aren't aware, that original Dirge came in a 2-pack with Ramjet. It was an Amazon exclusive. It sold out very quickly, spiked in value, and even guys like Mark were not able to get it because of how quickly it sold, and he had to go through Ben in order to get his copy. It was a difficult item to get.
Settle on this.
Well, I mean, it's just that 2-pack was very hard to get your hands on. It was actually hard to get. I was bugging you to get my hands on it, so I was like, oh man, this definitely needs to be reissued.
You fast forward a couple years, you give it a couple years, and then all of a sudden that opens up the opportunity that this could be reissued in a individual kind of nature, very unchanged. So the big takeaway from this is Dirge shows us that stuff like Cosmos that gave us a lot of trouble, and of course his fellow Ramjet, and maybe even people that were driving themselves crazy over even that past Ironhide Prowl 2-pack, and many others that I'm obviously leaving out. Patience is key here. If there is a demand, that demand will be met, and look, Hasbro likes money, so if people are willing to pay for stuff, and Seeker Jets are one of these gotta get them all, complete them kind of situations, they're going to put more of them. So I'm pretty sure at some point we're going to see Ramjet, maybe even that Thrust that was also like a Target exclusive and stuff. The opportunity will present itself there too. So just wait it out. But again, Dirge, that's the big takeaway from anything from that one. Then they showed us a repaint, straight up repaint of the Lio Prime, aka Lio Convoy. Even Mark called it Lio Convoy because he knows what's up. Lio Convoy, Lio Prime. We got the Nemesis Lio Prime here, a black repaint based off of an appearance in the original cartoon, a copy that was done by Lio Jr. Long story, go back, watch Beast Wars 2nd, great series, Japanese exclusive Transformer series. The cool thing about this, though, is that it's not just really a straight up 100% repaint. There's a little bit of an Easter egg going on with this one. So Mark and Shusan, they worked on this one, and they wanted to include a little extra something that it would not just be a cool black repaint. Black repaints are awesome to begin with, but they included a little extra accessory. This was something that probably was available on the sprue originally when this toy was being produced as just Lio Prime, but they want to obviously, with the second release, give something special the second time, so they left it out on the first one. And what is that? They included the Sabertron Buster. Now, what the Sabertron Buster was in the show was the characters in Beast Wars 2nd, when they would fight, they would have like their ultimate attack, which usually would be something related to their core toy, whether it be a gun that came with Tasmanian Kid, aka Snarl, or Big Horn with his missile launcher and his horns. So they wanted that something when there was basic skirmishes in the show, all the characters had these little guns that they could use for those little long-range skirmishes. And that's where the Sabertron Buster was introduced. Kind of translates to the Maximal Buster if you want to localize it, but it's called the Sabertron Buster in the show. So these were these little guns that all the Maximals or the Sabertrons or Cybertrons had that kind of were just used for the everyday kind of battle stuff. And now it's included with this Nemesis Lio Prime. Originally, that gun was just a role-play item back when the show was on air back in 1998. And then when we had the Masterpiece Lio Convoy, the Masterpiece Lio Prime, they included that as an extra accessory. But that's a much larger accessory for a Masterpiece, so there never was anything that was really compatible with all the smaller figures. Well, here today, we got one. The Maximal Buster, the Sabertron Buster, is included with the Nemesis Lio Prime. Nice, cool little deep cut throwback of a part of Transformers history. I dig that a lot. That's really cool. And again, 5mm peg, so it's going to be universal with everyone else. I mean, that's really cool. That is really, really, really cool. Let's jump into our leader class. So we have our leader class here today. It's Armada Megatron. We knew it was coming. We were teased about it by Ben and everyone when they did the Space Bridge segment before that. We have a Aaron Archer design, once again updated to the modern era. This one was designed by Sam and Hasui-san, and it looks really good. It's pretty much taking the original Armada toy, probably is going to be smaller than the original because of how plastics are today, but makes it very articulated. But there's a lot of other stuff going on here, more so reading in between the lines. So on top of the fact that it's still able to maintain its like turret flipping gimmick where Megatron could extend his body, flip that whole tank turret to the front of his body, and he has that chest blaster turret mode. So that's a nice throwback to the original toy. But there's even more going on. So the hands of the robot mode could flip in and create these 5mm post pegs, which you could attach the barrels of the guns or maybe even a future hand blade. So there's a little bit of a throwback there too to the original toy. But a big thing was something that Sam said.
Converted full blast mode. He's loaded with 5mm ports throughout the bot mode, potentially for some future compatibility with something else in the line.
Always spoiling stuff.
Always spoiling. But
and so this, what he said here, could either go one of two ways with his little, reveal, his spoilery. He's either saying that at some point we're probably going to get Minicons, mini ports all over him, kind of be that Minicon base like the original toy was, or a teaser of something combining with him, maybe a future Tidalwave combiner element. We don't know yet, but we'll see. But definitely what Sam said there definitely got my ears puckered up for what potentially could be coming in the future. But this is really exciting. I'm very curious to see what Aaron Archer has to say about this one this weekend, probably when he's going to do his live stream on Friday. We shall see with that. Stay tuned. And the last thing we're going to cover here is the Commander class. So the Commander class, we've already talked about it quite a bit. A lot of stuff was covered here, but it's another Aaron Archer creation. Even Aaron Archer got a shout out by Mark in this, because Aaron Archer had a lot to do with both the Megatron and the Optimus.
Shout out to Aaron Archer, who worked on the original one with Hasui-san.
Hasui-san did a little recorded video here also explaining what their goal was when doing this Commander class Armada Optimus Prime. And it was really about making it look dynamic, making it have a lot of articulation compared to the original toy. He showed how there was an ab crunch on it that you could use for dynamic posing and stuff, and was also very important because the leader class was going to be the Armada Megatron. They wanted to make sure that the Commander class in both the super mode and the smaller robot mode scaled well to match how he looked in the show. And everyone remembers in the original first episode when they first fought, you notice how Optimus Prime and Megatron, like Optimus in the smaller robot mode was much smaller, but in the super mode kind of closed the gap there. So it was a nice touch that they wanted to keep that scale too, and Hasui-san was like really hell-bent on doing that. They also showed the box art for the first time. Again, shout out to Mario, Christina, and Amy who do the packaging art for all our modern Transformer stuff. Really amazing stuff there. Looks really, really good. And I mean, just a lot of little throwbacks here and there. Just awesome stuff going on. If you're an Armada fan, it's your time right now. And I'm pretty sure Aaron Archer, who Armada really was his baby, and he designed literally 90% of that line, that's some incredible stuff going on there. The only other thing they really wanted to mention is, so the Voyagers and the leader classes that they mentioned, those are all going to go up on pre-order today at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's April 4th for those who are listening to this later. And but the Commander class, they don't really have a date for it yet. They're thinking maybe April 18th. Don't hold it to them, but that's probably the date they're going for. So just keep that in mind too. A lot of cool stuff here. We're still not done yet. We got 2 more segments coming. 2 more. And then we're going to be done for the day. And then you could go relax and just enjoy your Transformer world. A lot of cool stuff. We'll talk again real soon here on the Transformer Slag podcast.